Okay, guys, so welcome back to another episode of the Miami Hustle. We have this amazing superstar. We're having a chat right now. I'm not going to get into it. I'm going to let her say her story. I'm your host, Karla. Today we have Ms. Christine Curran in the building. And I love meeting and speaking to other empowered, strong women because the reality is that for whatever reason, people think that women don't like each other and that we're not team players and that we're not girls, but we are. At least some of us are, right? So I love meeting people like this, interviewing them, talking to them, picking their brains. So we have her here today. She's going to share her amazing story about her experience in the entertainment industry, what she's had to overcome, and just a little bit about her life. So Christine, welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so happy you came. She told me she drove an hour and 40 minutes.
No, like an hour.
That's still commitment because a lot of you live down the street and you won't come, but we're not going to talk about that. Anyways, I know we were talking a little bit about it. I want to know a little bit more about you, right? Where you grew up, if you're from South Florida, what your experience has been like, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of things happen here in your time here. So tell me a little bit more about that. Were you born here?
I know, in my old, ripe age, right?
No, you look fabulous. Don't even.
Okay, listen, I'm 40 and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, I am from here. I'm actually born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. I went to high school at Deerfield Beach High. Nice. So I have seen a lot of changes here since, my childhood, but all good things. Like I'm a creative. I've always been a creative. So watching like all the new creative stuff that's been happening down here and the new buildings and companies that are coming in, the production studios, like it's really exciting.
Wow. So you grew up here, grew up in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. What was it like, back in your time? Because I feel like things are so different now. What was it like, coming out of, did you go to college?
I did.
Okay. What was it like coming out of college and then getting into your professional career? Because I don't know about you, it was very challenging for me. And it just makes me think about like how times have changed so much. And now there's so many opportunities, right? Online, offline, just being an entrepreneur. But what was your transition like after college? Did you always know that you wanted to do this, or what happened?
I have like one of those wild, crazy stories. Like I skipped a grade, graduated high school at 16 with full paid scholarships. I went to Jacksonville to go to school because my mom had moved there and I was 16. What are you going to do by yourself, right? Like, I think I was in college too young and, I got carried off with a boy, ended up getting pregnant, missed my final exams because I was having the baby, lost my scholarships, went back to college on a 2-year grant, finished my 2-year, and I'm like, this is not the life that I want to have. Like, I want to have fun. Like, I'm young. I was 18 and I'm going, by the time I got out of my 2-year, I was like almost 20. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I need a change. I need to do something that feels good for me if I'm going to raise a daughter. I don't want to just go to work 9 to 5, be stressed out or barely, getting by and then come home and take care of a kid and just do it all over again every single day. That's not fun. And so I decided not to go back to school to get my 4-year because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was like, I really don't, like, I know I'm smart, but I don't want to do any of this stuff. And I was doing part-time modeling and acting in college. And back when Craigslist was like safer and cool and they had like really good gigs on there, I was making really good money. And so I just kind of rolled with that. And then people started asking me for more models. They're like, hey, do you have like 3 more girls? I need it for this promo. I need that for this photo shoot. And so I'm like, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to get paid for it. So I started an entertainment company, Fort Lickerdale Entertainment. And I started booking my friends and taking a cut. And then I started doing casting calls. And then I built this huge entertainment company. I had a service called the Jello Shot Girls where I hired a lawyer and argued it was 51% food because it was solidified because I'd put the syringes in the deep freezer. So I was able to get a catering license and bring them into a 501c3 or whatever it is. Yeah, so I was in all the nightclubs. I had the girls working like Coyote Ugly style at all the nightclubs. I made a crap load of money in my 20s, was able to give my daughter a great, young life. Was able to be home with her a lot, take her to school, pick her up. I mean, it was amazing. So I just always have been outside the box thinker. I've never worked for anybody, besides some part-time jobs in high school or something at Dairy Queen. But besides that, and so I've been consistently in entertainment ever since for 20 years and doing a whole lot of different types of things.
Wow. So it kind of sounds like it's something that it was like your gift, and you kind of knew that from the very start, and it was one of those things that kind of just fell in your lap because you were like, hey, can you book people? And you were like, sure, why not? Let me get paid. So that's actually pretty awesome that you found your calling, with what you do very early on, because I feel like a lot of people are very confused. So why entertainment? Like, out of all the things in the world, what made you want to do that, other than that you wanted to have fun?
I mean, I've always been an entertainer. I was band captain. I played 4 instruments. I was soccer, cross country. I did winter guard. I was a dancer. I mean, I love performing. I love anything active. I'm an active person. So it just felt right. And, and then I just got into every different facet of it. I model, actress, host, interviewed hundreds of celebrities on the red carpet, through big fashion shows. I threw beauty pageants. I did everything. And I choreographed for 2 Live Crew. Like, I'm not, like, just crazy stuff. Whatever came my way, I'm like, I'd also say yes. I never say no. I'm like, yes, let's do it. If I can do it, or if I think I can do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best. So
That's awesome. What's like a common thing that people misconceive about what you do in your industry?
that it's just like all glamorous and all we do is have fun. I mean, the amount of work that goes into what we do is crazy. It's like wild. Like I'm looking to next year do a show about behind the scenes of the show.
That's
because
awesome.
like building the empire is no joke. It's like it's 98% hard work, and then you see me having fun and glamour and stuff. But and most of the time, even when you see me going out, I'm always working.
Right.
If I'm not there to make money, then I don't want to go. I'd rather stay at home. So I'm always at networking events looking for more qualified leads for shows or for sponsors or whatever it is that we're trying to position.
What has been like for you the most challenging aspect of what you do, other than obviously dealing with people? Like, what's something that you've really had to work on to overcome and stay in the game?
People's expectations, for sure, because everybody wants something, and I bring people into the industry that maybe have never had a chance at it, and sometimes it's like it's great, and sometimes the egos get involved. It's like when I've been in it for so long that I don't have an ego. I'm here. This is my job. It's what I do. I love it. I'm very good at it, but there's no ego. It's just like, let's get this done. Let's do this. Okay, you want to do this? This is how we're going to do it. And it's just go to work and finish. And I'm not so much like, if I'm not getting paid this amount of money, I'm not doing it. I don't have that ego. I don't have any attitude. I'm very humble. My partner that I've been with for 18 years, Rui Diaz, who does all of our head of production, he's very humble. And I think that's why we've been able to build something in such a crazy, chaotic industry that's so powerful, because we're both really good people. And we found each other, and we've stuck by each other through thick and thin and hard times and COVID and this and that and the ups and downs and the homelessness. He's been homeless. I was homeless. Like we've had all these different things in the 18 years, and but just our positive attitude, how we reinforce each other, how we uplift each other, is really the foundation of the company, and I'm really grateful for him.
Yeah, that's actually awesome, because it is very hard to find a business partner, a good one at that. Partners in general, but business partners, I hate to say it, but sometimes it's even more important for you to choose the right business partner than it is regular partner, because relationships, whatever, but like your business partner is like your lifelong partner. And I think that it's really hard to find genuine people who are on the same page as you. And like you said, stick with you even through the bad times. So kudos to you and your partner. That's amazing.
Thank you.
What do you feel like is one thing that you guys work on together as a team to kind of continue to move forward and grow the relationship stronger?
I think because we've been together for so long, like we haven't really, we used to work together like much closer, but now as the face of the company, I'm doing a lot with the women and all the different verticals. And so I'm running around all over the place, and, he's really focused on specific things. So we haven't even had time to really like reconnect. Like I get to talk to him like once a week now. But we know our lane, and we know when we trust each other, and we know what it is. You know what I mean? So like when you get to that level with each other, it's like it feels good just knowing that I never have to check on him. He never has to check on me. We're both out there doing what we're supposed to do. And it's like I don't know anybody else that has a partnership like us. It's a really beautiful friendship and a beautiful relationship in business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, because I've had my fair share of business partners, and some that I shouldn't have. Like, I learned very early on that you should not, your actual relationship partners should and many times it does not work as a business partner and friends and all these things. And I've learned so many things. So I'm saying, like, I'm hearing you talk about this and I'm like, damn, I need to take some notes because that's the ideal situation, you know. But at the end of the day, the core of it is what you said. You're both good people. And nowadays it's so hard to find good people. And that's something that I wanted to ask you about in your industry, right? Usually is an industry that has a really bad rep when it comes to people and their attitudes and their personalities and their intentions. And I know this because I have friends who are in the industry and they tell me, and I'm just like, how do you guys do it? Like, how are you yourself? How do you stay humble? How are you so good a person in an industry where it almost seems like they're just trying to tear you down?
It's difficult, and I've had some people try to tear me down. You know what it is? You build thick skin. Like, I've been doing this for so long, even if I'm like in my feels one day or I'm upset or whatever, I get over it really quick. Like an hour, I throw a temper tantrum, maybe cry a little bit, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done, I'm over it. Because you just grow thick skin in the industry, and you realize it's not you, it's them, or maybe it's a misunderstanding, and so then you have to take a minute for yourself and think through it, and it's just really self-development. It's like, being aware of yourself and other people, trying to understand. I always try to take myself out of the equation and think, well, how is that person feeling? Why are they coming at me like that? What is the problem here? And it's funny because I have had more women that I've had like a breakup, I guess you would say, with, come back to me than not come back to me years later. I remember 1 month in particular, maybe it was 6 months ago, 1 month, I had 3 women that had we had disagreements and we had separated. One was like 8 years ago, one was like 5 years ago, one was like 3 years ago, and they all came back within that month. It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, what is going on? Hey, I'm so sorry about the way that things ended. So I think when we separate or when you have an issue with somebody, the way that you handle that separation is really important, and trying not to hurt them, tarnish them. You just don't know where people are going through in their season. And similarly, me too, I have my seasons and my moments, right? But the way you try to harm somebody's reputation, and I've had people say crazy things about me, like things I'm like, I wish I was there when that happened, that I supposedly was part of. So, but just the way that you treat people, even in their bad season, even in their bad times, I think is a big part of your reputation in this industry, and just like letting people go through you don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to talk about, you don't have to do any of that. Just keep moving forward, keep your head up, and keep your side of the street clean. And, things will work out for you in this industry.
You're 100%, that's so spot on. I'm not in entertainment, but I am in business, and it happens.
Yeah.
And it's so true what you're saying. Like, even in moments where people try to, throw dirt on your name and things like that, you hold your head up high, you show up, and you just kill them with kindness. And they always come back, and they always feel like crap, and they're like, I'm sorry, I was wrong, you were right. And that's awesome. That's amazing.
And I don't hold it to when they come back. I just like meet them with love, because I'm not going to sit there and rehash what happened. I'm not going to do he said, she said, and any of that. It's just like, hey, welcome back. Like, no problem. Open arms. As long as you didn't try to harm me badly, I'm always an open arm type of person.
It's so refreshing to hear that there's other people in the world like you, because sometimes I think about this too. That's why I'm asking you, and I'm just like, everyone sucks. But everyone doesn't suck. It's just people, like you said, they go through their seasons and they go through their crap, and you just kind of have to just keep going.
Yeah.
So what, in like the chaos and everything that you have going on in your day to day, like what do you do to reset? What's your like thing to kind of like start over? How do you take care of yourself? Do you meditate? Like, tell me more about that.
I know I should meditate. I've tried it. It's not for me, but I do love to work out. So the gym and long walks. I live by the beach. It's my favorite place. I have to be near the beach. And so I do like 5-mile walks on a regular. I used to run, but running's really, it's very exhausting. And I feel like when I walk, I get a lot of clarity on anything that's stressing me out. I get the fresh air and the beach, and it just really puts me in a place of like Zen. And I think that is my meditation, just taking those walks, thinking through everything, and coming up with I come up with my best ideas on my walks, Yeah,
I agree with you. I'm not a meditation person either. And it's so funny because I feel like in business and just entrepreneurship in general, everyone has their different journey. But I don't know if it's ever happened to you where we fall into this thing of like, oh no, you have to meditate and you have to journal and you have to do this and you have to wake up at 3 a.m. and throw yourself in Saratoga water and all this
in
nonsense.
An ice bath.
Yeah, it's just like, no, like whatever works for you, but most importantly, you have to know what you need to refresh and restart. So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your personal life, and I was kind of asking you about it. I'm just curious. You don't have to share anything you don't want to share, but I want to know what
I'll share all of it. What you want to know?
I want to know what it's been like to build your business and also manage being a mother and also manage like relationships and dating, because I only deal with like dating and business, and that's already tough. So I can't imagine throwing a kid in there. Like, how do you do it?
Well, my daughter's 21 now. She still lives with me. I'm trying to keep her as long as I can. I'm like, do not go out in the real world yet. You do not need to put yourself out there like that. It's tough. And I just love having time with her because, I'm 40. She's 21. We have a lot of fun together. She goes out with me. It's a good time. She's responsible. She's a welder and a hip hop dancer. So she dreads her hair. She's just a whole vibe. And she grew up with me, right? We grew up together, literally. So, so that has kept me really grounded. I've had my, my bad relationships and my good ones, and she's been there through all of those with me too. I'm a very monogamous person, so I tend to have long relationships, but sometimes I stay longer than I probably should.
Yeah,
but right now I'm in a season of, I'm not dating and I'm celibate and I'm happy. And I don't know if when I'm going to be ready and available, but I mean, maybe somebody will come along that just is so amazing that I'm like, hey, I'm ready, but I'm not really looking. I'm building my company, and it's really at its peak right now, like as far as growth, and I'm just staying focused on what makes me happy and spending time with my daughter and my friends and enjoying life.
That's amazing, because I feel like, and I have this conversation with a lot of my friends too, who are older than me. I don't know what it is. I love my 40-year-old friends. To me, they're the best. Like, I like them more than my friends my age.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Oh, okay.
So, but I like it because I feel like there's things that clearly I haven't been through, and as wise as I think I am, that I am, you guys have just gone through that much more than I have. And so I like speaking to you guys, understanding your perspective, and like things that I'm, something stupid like, and I'm freaking out, and you're there like, girl, like,
be like, you're going to grow a muscle for that one. All right.
Exactly. So I love that. I love that about, women like yourself. And I think it's so true what you're saying. And something that I've been learning too along my journey. It's like, what is the point of being in a relationship if like you're not growing, you're not learning? The person, you might have fun with them. Great. You could have fun with your friends.
Yeah.
That's my thing now. I can have fun with my friends. Like, I don't need to date to have fun.
Yeah.
But that's just my perspective. So I wanted to ask you as well, as a woman in business, right? There's so much that I can relate about, but I think that oftentimes, I don't know if this happens to you, but I always feel like I have to really like stand my ground, and I really have to like step into a room and like, this is who I am. Not in a rude fashion, right? But It's just like, it's a thing where it's like we constantly have to be proving ourselves. And I hate to make it about women and all this crap, but the reality is it's like a man and a woman walk into a room and we're not treated the same. We want to say that we are, but we're not. And I hate to say it, but to our own detriment, it's like, I think we're attractive women. I feel like that makes it even harder. So how do you manage? I'm taking notes over here. How do you deal with that?
I completely understand what you're saying. Mind you, I started my first company, which is technically this company. I finally closed down that LLC, pulled this project out of that company and made it its own. But technically 20 years I've been doing this. And I have 21. I mean, that was you're getting hit on when you're trying to do a business deal. It's like, there's just so many different things. Maybe they don't take you seriously. They'll let you get a little something, but they won't let you get to the next level. I had a lot of that in the entertainment industry when I was here, only working local. And when that happened, I was so frustrated. And, people I've worked with for a very long time, I'd be like, hey, I know that you hire my girls for this, but can I also do this at your event? Or can you give me something new and something I can grow with you? And they would never give it to me. And I was just like just like frustrated and turned off. Like, I don't know like what I want to do. This doesn't feel good. Like, I know I'm better than this. And when I started working outside of South Florida, I started traveling everywhere, and I was getting more money outside of South Florida than I'm getting in South Florida, in my own hometown. It's funny how people treated me differently when I came back. All of a sudden they're like, oh, Christine, da da da. Like, oh, you weren't paying attention to me back then, though. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I understand that, and there is still that stigma, sometimes with men. I think now because of my accolades and where I'm at, people don't treat me like that anymore. And I think because my confidence level is different, I own a room when I walk in, it's just a different vibe than 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But I can totally understand how that is. And the way I've dealt with it is just, so I'm very like, and it's funny because my girlfriend said to me the other day, wow, Christine, all the guys are just like hitting on you all the time now. And like, no, that never happened before to me, but I was also in a relationship. And even when I'm not in a relationship, in business, I'm not available energy. And so I think because I'm newly single, like a couple months, I've been like just a little more open, a little more flirtatious, I guess, like not realizing it, but I think that's one of the reasons why I did really well in business young was because I always had that I'm not available energy. And so I think the way you hold yourself, the way that your mannerisms, the way you communicate with people with body language, but you want to be personable, you want to be fun, you want people to like you. I have to tell men a lot that I'm not dating. That way, as soon as they're like, wow, you're beautiful, wow, I'm like, I'm not available, I'm celibate. Like I make jokes out of it. I'll be like, I'm celibate, not available. And then, but I set the tone for I'm here to do business and this is what I want. But I think just just continue to do what you're doing. And I mean, you hold yourself well, you look great, you speak well. So the right people will be attracted to you. You'll find your people.
I just everything that you're saying, I'm just like, yeah, that's very true. When I started too, when I was very young, it's so hard finding that middle ground between I don't want to be a bitch, so no one doesn't approach me because I need people to approach me in business, right? I don't want them to be scared to talk to me, but I don't want to be too friendly that they're getting the wrong idea. So that's been like my battle. I feel like now I found like a middle ground, but it's so true what you're saying. It's like, okay, I'm here to work, and that's pretty much it, But the annoying thing is that it's like I feel like, and I'm sure this happens to you. You walk into a room, you might not even talk to anyone, or you might just say, hi, nice to meet you, whatever. And it's just like the simple fact that you're confident and you're attractive. It's like all the flies come out, and it's like so annoying. I don't know if that happens to you, but it's the most annoying thing. So I wanted to ask you, kind of turn the page. So that's with men, right? With women and friends and acquaintances, right? How has that been? Because I feel like in the industry that you're in, women are very catty in general, and I feel like situations like the industry that you're in usually heighten that even more. At least from what I've been told, maybe your experience has been different. I just kind of want to know what it's like to work with other women, how you've handled situations where other women feel maybe like, you're superior than they are, and then they try to give you attitude or fight you. Like, how do you diffuse that? How do you bring that down and just let them know, like, hey, like, I'm here to work with you. Like, this is not the energy that I'm trying to give you. Because I feel like that's really challenging in what you do.
Absolutely, and it's always different because there's so many different personalities, right? And I booked 800 women at least once. I have 800 applications. That means they worked for me at least once. That went from my 20s till like my mid 30s, and then now with the divas, which is like an older group of women, so it's a whole different ball game than when you're dealing with just models. You're dealing with women that are and more intelligent and more older and more seasoned, right? And so it's already sometimes uncomfortable when you're the leader and someone's 20 years your senior or 10 years your senior and you're trying to lead them, right? So you have to tread lightly with that. And I learn from them too. So it's not like I'm in charge and I know everything. I don't. And, I pick up little nuggets from everybody that I work with and I implement them because we're all here to teach each other and learn together. Sometimes I have those issues. We try to always repair well. We try not to gossip. Gossiping is like, it's one thing to have a conversation about a problem and a solution versus gossiping. And there's a thin line. And sometimes it can go over that line and you have to pull yourself back. Like, okay, let me not say this because that sounds like now I'm projecting something, right? Instead of trying to solve something. So we try to keep that mentality on every conversation or problem that we have. And we've, we redefined the word divas to mean driven, inspiring, visionary, authentic sisterhood. And so when things get uncomfortable, sometimes I have to go sit with myself and be like, okay, what's actually happening here? What is the problem? And then how am I going to fix this? And then go in with love and just have truth-telling conversations with each other. If there's a problem, like be like, this is the problem. This is how I'm feeling. This is why I feel this way, and try to solve it and come, we have a great way of solving it. I think all the women that we've attracted at this point are women that want to be at a higher level with other women, and we all want to elevate together. So we don't have and if we have somebody who is a problem causer, we usually sniff that out pretty quickly and we release them back into the wild. Bye.
Hilarious. That's awesome. No, I mean, once again, I agree. Leading people in general is a very challenging thing because it's a constant situation of like, your own self, your thoughts, what you believe, like controlling that and knowing how to properly express that to not offend anyone, to inspire people, to teach them, right? And that's so challenging because at the end of the day, we're still people. Like, we have our moments where we get upset and shit happens, right? So I applaud you for that because people are difficult. I feel like women are more difficult. And I say that with love. But
yeah, well, hormones and
exactly.
all the things, right? And
Periods,
so,
all that fun stuff.
and you've got, I'm dealing with women that are going through menopause all the way to women that have their periods. The women, we have all these things going on with our bodies, let alone everything else in the world, right? Just to get dressed up, like, men don't have to do this. Like that, if we're spending an hour getting ready for podcasts or TV shows, that's time that could have been making sales. So it's like we have to be smarter, faster, quicker with everything that we do in order to be at that level of success. So what I do love about women, I will say, is that we multitask very well and that we find ways to work together better so we can elevate faster than men do. And I think a lot of men are picking up on that now. And that's why we have a really good group of men in our Diva Network, which is our community, our virtual community. And the men that are in our virtual community, I think, are grabbing a lot of nuggets from us and like opening another side of them, which I think is really powerful and great to watch. And my partner, Adora Evans, out of Texas, that runs the Diva community, she's really great with that. Like, just like helping people find their who's and connecting the right people and really inspiring people and keeping people focused on positive thinking and, self-development. She's been in the industry for 23 years with Don Green and Bob Proctor and Dennis Waitley and all the awesome people that have made life-changing opportunities for people and their mindset and their growth and stuff. So whenever I'm feeling some type of way, I'm like, Adora, I need Adora time because I'm like, I need advice. She's like my big sister. And so, you got to find people you can lean on that will always talk you up instead of down, right? And instead of like leaning into negative of whatever you're feeling, will say, well, maybe this, and brings you to a positive thought process. And she's that person for me. So, you got to surround yourself by good people.
Yes, mentors. We all need mentors.
Mm-hmm.
Mentors, and not just mentors, but like you said, people that, you can go to them and they're going to ground you.
Yes.
Because I feel like it's so easy to get lost in the sauce. And as great as we think we are, there are moments where we're like, all right, I need help.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. You said Dora?
Adora.
Adora.
Adora is adorable.
Shout out to Adora. Would love to meet her. She sounds like a wonderful person.
Yeah, you've got to come in our Diva Network one week and come check it out.
I'm down. Just
and come teach about credit.
I'll teach them about anything finance.
Help all the people. No, it's all business. It's all entrepreneurs. We have amazing people that come in and teach on different topics. And then we break out into networking rooms and everybody gets to meet each other and exchange business. It's really awesome.
That's awesome. See, I'm learning something new. I literally thought you were just like entertainment, TV. Like, I didn't know that you had this whole thing going on behind the scenes with like smaller groups and mentorship and things like that. That's amazing that you found a way to integrate that into the industry, because I feel like that's what every industry lacks.
Yeah.
Is a tight-knit community with genuine people who want to teach each other and want to be there for each other. So kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah. No, it's all about partnerships and collaborations. And when you find your who's, then you create your what's, is what Adora always says. We were just on a virtual call right before I got here, so it's still fresh in my mind. But I love that part of it, and I was begging her to do the community with us. I'm like, come over here and do it with us, because what I loved when I met her was the self-development aspect. We did a mastermind together in St. Lucia, and we filmed it for TV. And we put it together in like 6 weeks. I don't know how we did it. Like, it was magic. But after that, I was like, wow, this is what I've been lacking in my business, because sometimes you don't feel, even though I'm like doing good things for women and I'm trying to stay positive and helping people connect and, grow together instead of, tear each other down. There was always this one piece that I kind of felt like I needed something else in the entertainment, because you got to give back to the world. You can't just always take. And so I want, like, what else can I do? Okay, I'm elevating women. I'm giving women a chance to be on TV that have never been on TV before. I'm getting to watch them blossom and grow and be more dynamic and more outspoken and dress more differently. And you can see the confidence level rising. That feels great. And I'm putting brands on TV and entrepreneurs on TV to tell their stories. But what else? Like, I felt like there needed more. And so when I met Adora, I was like, bring all that over here. Let's do all that here. I love self-development. I love talking through like how to be the best version of yourself. And so we're actually doing another mastermind in 4 weeks in Tobago So you want to go?
I mean, as long as I can check my calendar and I have nothing important, I would love to go.
So we're filming out there, what I love about our masterminds every year, this year is with Jeff Hoffman, and Jeff has built 3 multi-billion-dollar companies. He's raised $11 billion for social good. He's just a pleasure to be around, like the best energy. But he's actually coming to teach our entrepreneurs how to 100x their business with real action items, and I think that is so incredible and generous and we're very excited about it. So it's like, yeah, you get to go to the retreat, you get to be on TV, you get the private chef experience every night, right? The dinner parties and all the stuff that we do at Destination Divas, but you get the growth and the opportunity to learn from one of the most brilliant minds, I feel like, in entrepreneurship of our generation.
Wow. I'm going to check my calendar as soon as we're done.
She's like, me, please.
No, I mean, that's like one thing is doing that in your hometown on Zoom, all that good stuff. Another thing is like you're going to another country where it's very strategic because you're removing everyone away from their comfort zone, their home, their friends and things like that. And
Yes.
it's just, it's one of those things that it's funny that you film it because I feel like people kind of go through it. Like they're like, oh shit, my
It's
safety net is not here.
life-changing.
Yeah.
It's every year we've done it. It is life-changing. I see people like come out of that. They have breakdowns. They have breakthroughs. They get a new investor or a partnership. Like just different things come out of it, and it's really beautiful to watch, and experience, And it's my reset for the year. I'm like, this is my event that I love. It's for me, me and you, but me.
You do that every year.
Every year, but it's completely different every year.
Right.
So we did St. Lucia with the Think and Grow Rich Institute. We did Napoleon Hill and Epic Talks in Mexico with Celebrity Cruises. We did Lisa Nichols and the Exumas last year with deep transformational work. And this year is How to 100x Your Business with Jeff Hoffman in Tobago.
I love St. Lucia, but those are great destinations all around. So it's a nice of like rest and relax, but also recharge.
All of it.
So
it's all of it. And I've never seen a retreat give as much value as we do. Like, and we keep it so affordable. Like, it's for me, it's just that's a give back for me. Like, I love to see people win and grow, and it's a beautiful event.
And the broadcasting that you do, is that live? Is that for your existing show?
For Destination Divas. Yeah.
Oh, so you have Dining Divas and you have Destination Divas.
I have Dining Divas Florida, Texas, New York, California, Destination Divas.
Okay, so tell me more about what is Dining Divas?
So Dining Divas, all the shows. I mean, they're food and travel, yes, but that's secondary to what it actually is about. It's actually about the stories we tell along our journey, and we tell it through food and travel experiences. So it's the people. It's the entrepreneurs that join us and dine with the divas. It's the government official that I interviewed in a hot air balloon over Utah. It's the lady that's Ruth, the Oracle, who's taking us on horses in the snow and talking about her gifts that she uses horses for healing. And it's like really engaging and interesting and educational content that really resonates with people versus a typical business interview.
Right. You see, you tell me Dining Divas, of course I'm sure you guys eat, but that's kind of like,
we eat.
You hear that, I'm sure you do. I love to eat. But you hear that and not like, that's one thing, right? And then hearing you talk about it is like, whoa, that's completely something else. So I feel like it's important to have conversations like this to really understand like, okay, like, what is your purpose? What purpose are you fulfilling in the industry? And what are you really doing other than, like, putting on a show? Because I feel like when we do whatever it is that we do, people see the outside, right? Like, the final product.
Yeah.
But they don't really understand, like, the core of why you're doing it. And sitting here and talking to you, really understanding, is inspiring me because I'm just like,
Aww.
Okay, you can really find something fun to do, but at the same time still be changing lives and inspiring people. So I'm taking notes.
I love it. Yeah.
I'm taking notes. I had a question for you about people in the industry, right? Maybe not necessarily TV, but in the entertainment business, there's so many people, whether it's music, the arts, and the challenges. So I feel like what you guys do is very hard. Entrepreneurship in general is difficult, and I feel like your particular industry is like even more difficult.
10x.
It is. It really is because I see my friends go through it, and I'm just like, damn, I thought my business was hard. So what advice do you have maybe for that younger entrepreneur in the business, or even someone like yourself, who's a little bit older in the business that's been doing it for a long time and maybe they hit a stop or they get stuck? Because I know people like that as well. Like, what advice do you have for them to kind of like overcome the hurdle and kind of like go on to that next chapter and not lose sight of why you started doing this? Because I feel like that happens a lot too.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm always going through hurdles. There's always a new hurdle. As you get to another level, there's another problem and a bigger problem than the last time. So it's a never ending thing. But like I was talking about earlier, you build a muscle for it. I throw my temper tantrums and then I get back up and I do it again. And and it's just, I would say it's okay to get upset. It's okay to have breakdowns. That's actually healthy. But then what you have to do is say, okay, now I got that out of my system. Now what am I going to do to fix it? Like, what am I going to do to get to the next level? And I want to say pivoting is, at least for me, the most pivotal. Pivoting is the most pivotal because, sometimes you have to plant a seed and let it grow. And with my company, I have all these verticals, all these different LLCs under the parent company. We're doing all these different things. And I have to let one thing like marinate and grow after I've put a lot of energy and time into it, and then work on this thing and grow this little plant, and then I go back to this plant and water it a little bit more, and then I go over to this plant. And I think that's a really important part of entrepreneurship. People want something like all the time, consistently, just da-da-da-da, and that's not always how it works.
Yeah.
It depends on your industry, it depends on what you're doing, but it's just not always how it works. So like right now, I've been really heavily focused on third-party shows, producing shows for other people, because I realize everybody wants their own show, and we're in a digital, media craze right now. Everything since COVID, it's like content. Yeah. And so helping other people create shows and distributing them for them is also a give back, because I take time away from my show to help other people. But watching other people get so excited and feel good and be able to have something that they are proud of, that's a great feeling too. So I love doing that. And just growing right now the Dining Empire as a network. And then, at the same time, I shot so much last year. Oh my gosh, Dining Divas and Destination Divas, we shot so much. So letting all of that marinate and make money for us and get that out, and then we have just the mastermind this year, and we have the FUBU experience we're doing in Tennessee, which is going to be epic. So those are two big projects for the Dining Diva, Destination Diva brands, but really just focus on Dining Empire right now. And then next year, I'm going to focus heavily on my product lines, which is Divalicious. So, I baby the other ones, but I, put a lot of energy into one vertical. So that's kind of, Diva Network, so it's just making sure that you see the bigger picture. What are you building as a whole? Where do you want to put your energy focus this month, this week, this year? And just sticking to that.
Okay. And what advice? So that's great. It's like pretty much create an ecosystem.
Yes.
Not just be stuck to one
That's
thing.
my favorite word. I'm like, does it fit in the ecosystem? Does it fit in the ecosystem?
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of building it if you're not creating an ecosystem?
Yeah.
It needs to be nourished. It needs so many things. So
And they should all connect and help feed each other. And that's
exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
So something that I know is big for people in your particular industry, because I hear my friends in the industry talk about it, is dealing with brands and sponsorships. What advice do you have for other younger entertainers in kind of getting into that world and being successful at it?
Yeah, it's a tough world. I'm not. It is a tough world. I've been doing sponsorship for a very long time, even before the TV shows, with events and stuff. Showing brands how you're going to give them value and making sure that it's a good fit, and and then people have to have budgets and trying to find who's got budgets and what part of the year, and there's just so many pieces to that puzzle. Sponsorship was my main driver for a very long time, which could be very stressful when that's your only revenue stream. Now luckily we've been building all this great stuff, but it is what I've learned and what I'm learning, even always learning, right? That it's kind of shifting. And it's, shifting away from like that gold, silver, bronze package type stuff and going into like more of on the sales side. And so I'm actually working with a gentleman that's going to be teaching us about that, because it's a shifting industry and we have to keep up with it, pivot, right? Always got to pivot.
Yeah. So I'm curious to hear about that. So I'm familiar with the concept of like the tiers and all that, because that's pretty much what everyone's been doing for years. I'm curious to know, I'm not in the industry, so now I'm just picking your brain from an outside perspective, more from a financial perspective, because it sounds like, and that's something that I hone in so much with my entertainer friends, is like, okay, you guys are amazing, you're talented, but like, how do you have the business together? Because at the end of the day, you could be the best entertainer of the world, but if you're not getting paid you're not in business. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So that's a conversation that I always have with them. It's like, okay, how are you monetizing?
Yeah.
You know, what are you using to scale? What are the metrics? And they're looking at me like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's how you grow a business.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like is crucial for the entertainment business to implement to be able to have an actual system where, like, yes, you're getting paid? You know, obviously I know one thing, and that's in any business, like leads, always. Leads. But
Yeah.
for you guys, what would you say is something more unique?
Well, I guess what part of the entertainment industry you're in, right? Whether you're selling tickets to live events, or if you're doing TV shows and you need brand partnerships or distribution checks, or if you're, doing music and you need to get a deal for residual income from your music that gets played. And there's so many different. The one thing I always say, and as I said, I've done a million different things in entertainment. I do all these things, but the first thing I think about when I go to do something is how am I monetizing this, right?
Yeah,
like
you have to.
that is like the main driver. Otherwise, you can't do all your passion projects if you don't monetize them. So, I team up with people. Team up with people that know what you don't know. Number one, because if you're a creative, you need to have a money type of person on your team. You need to have somebody who is systems and processes, savvy. Right. You need to have these people. You need to position all these people around you in your ecosystem so you can be successful, because not all creatives can do business. Mm-hmm. They just can't. Some can. I mean, I'm a multifaceted, creative, but I'm not the best at any of it. I'm good enough to get it done, but I surround myself with other people that are really good, right? I have a really great sales guy that I don't do sales the way he does it. I'm more like passion and friendly, and he's like, all right, take it away. Like you didn't pay, take it away. And I'm like, okay, that's not for me, but he's really good at it and he gets big dollars. So I surround myself by people that know what I don't know, and that helps me create in the creative world be successful.
That's amazing advice. That's literally what I was just saying, because it's true what you're saying. Like, you might be good at being creative, but it's like, how are you getting paid? And that's like a constant conversation that I have with people. And I love talking to people like you because it's so different than what I do. And I love to pick your brain and learn. It's like, okay, how do you guys do it? And it's what you were just saying, like, maybe you don't do it in terms of like the actual systems or whatever, but you're always constantly partnering up with people who are either going to help you get it done or going to teach you how to do it. So this is all great. These are great nuggets. Like, yeah. I'm not a creative, but I'm just like, I love hearing stuff like this. I'm like, yes, that's what you should be doing. Yeah. How are you getting paid? Because it doesn't matter how much you love it. Like, you need to pay bills. You need to survive.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Is there any book or any type of seminar or program or community that you're a part of that you feel like specifically for your niche people should be listening
Girl, I ain't
to?
got no time for that. I have no time for that. I learn the best from like going to retreats like the ones that I throw. Like, I literally bring people to my shows or bring people to events that I want to learn from, and I learn from them in person. That is I like the energy. I want to be in front of you. A lot of even like my divas, I have a diva that's really good at sales. And I have another thing that I've done with my shows, because people don't understand, like, everybody wants to be on TV, but what did you earn? How did you do it? Like, what did you do to earn that spot? And so my divas all contribute. Like, they have to go out and they have to bring in leads and help, bring in partnerships. And so I have one that's just really, really good, and I learned some great nuggets from her, on networking, on how to be better at networking and how to be more intentional. And so, like I said, finding people that can support what you're doing and explaining, I think being transparent too, and with people, like, what is it that you need and where you're at? Because a lot of people want to get paid for things that they don't deserve to get paid for. And there's a lot of people that want to get overpaid for things that don't make, so it's a really rough situation in business to like be like, hey, we can't do it that way. Like, doesn't work for our business model. It's too expensive, or, whatever. So, but yeah, so I learn from people that are in my team and in my circles, and I create opportunities for me to invite people to be in my circles to learn from, more than I go into community and into reading books so much anymore. But I mean, Think and Grow Rich is the best book you can ever read, right? That's an amazing book. Have you read it?
Yeah, it's foundational. I feel like everyone, even if you're not in business, you should read it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Watching the movie The Secret is great. Just going through those motions. I like to just go watch some thought leaders on social media once in a while when I'm like laying in bed. I'll just scroll through some people and just listen to inspiring messages and stuff like that, just to get my mindset back, my energetic vibe, at a high frequency, because, the day may have taken a toll on me and I'm like,
Yeah.
So I love the TikTok videos that are just all like my whole feed is just positive, positive stuff.
I mean, that's great. There's so much trash in the world that
Yeah.
you're going to fill your brain with positive stuff. So what my takeaway from everything that you just shared is like in-person events, which I feel like people don't do as much as they used to, because we have so much access to information on our phones, on our computers. And so and I noticed this happened obviously because we didn't have a choice during COVID, where like everything became purely online.
Yeah.
But I feel like as humans, we need that connection. Like we need to be in the presence of people.
Yes,
And
we need their energy. We need to feel each other, right?
Yes, exactly. So I agree with you 1,000%, because I remember when I started going back to events and like you leave so refreshed and so like happy, and you're just like, wow. So definitely my takeaway from you is like go to more in-person events.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's why I throw the retreat, because the virtual is great, but like doing a Zoom meeting or an hour coffee meeting or a quick lunch is one thing, but spending like days with people and getting to know them on a deeper level and more authentic, because you're like in your bathing suit, going in the water, going on a boat, and you're having these more deeper, authentic, more laid back conversations, that creates a lot more connection and opportunity. And then when you're all high vibing, powerful people doing awesome things in the world, automatically business is going to happen. Connections are going to be made and ideas are going to flow. So that's what I love about retreats. That's what I love about live events, is just being present with people. It's awesome.
That's my little note that I just took. Like, do more of those retreats. I don't remember the last time I did a retreat, which is really bad on my behalf. But once again, that's why I'm asking, because it's like, what are you doing? Because we all have our different things that we do, but we can take a little bit here, a little bit there. So definitely agree, more in person, more like personal, intimate settings, right? Not just like going to a bar and whatever. You could do that anytime, but like, let's team build. Like when you have to go and do these things where you build things together and everyone has to, like, that's so amazing. I remember I used to do it when I was younger, and you get older and you just stop doing those things. It's kind of sad, but
yeah,
as long as we're conscious to continue to do it.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you something that I hear a lot about in your particular industry, and I want to know how you've handled it. I'm pretty sure it's happened to you. A lot of people that I know that are in your particular industry have told me one of the biggest things they've had to deal with is like doing a job, not getting paid, working with, and I even know people like work with major companies, and they're like, they do really bad at business, they're unprofessional. Like, has it happened to you, and how have you managed it, and how do you avoid that from happening moving forward?
I mean, in business, it's just, it's a rocky road, right? You don't know, like when you're going into contract with somebody, how things are going to transpire. I mean, I have a company that signed a contract with me. They paid me one of the 4 payments and never paid me again. And, so that, when you're dependent on that, you're like, I have a signed contract, it's coming, right? And you're already setting up where that money is headed and what's happening, and then it doesn't happen, and then they ghost you. It's not a good feeling. But people go through things, and, and they may be having financial problems, and they don't want to discuss it or, tell you about it. They're embarrassed, whatever it is. It happens all the time. And, or there's just a bad CEO or a bad CFO. So I just say, like, keep your pipeline full. Like, I mean, you just have to keep moving. You got to trust that why they're not with you is probably for the better good of you. Like, maybe they were going to be very difficult to work with. Maybe it was going to cost you more than what they were paying you, somehow in the back end. Who knows? They could have got you in a lawsuit. I mean, you just don't know, right?
Yeah.
So I always just trust it's working out for my better good if they're not paying, and I just keep moving forward and keep my pipeline. I always say in business, I've been telling a lot of people this, a lot of younger people, you need to be so organized with your contacts. That is the most valuable thing you have. If you're going out to all these events and you're getting people's information and business cards or phone numbers, and you're not really organizing your contacts, you're losing money, like big time. Like if you think back, every single person I've ever talked to since I started just this company, right, just the TV show 7 years ago, and I was really good at organization. Then I kind of fell apart a little bit. Now I'm back, trying to get, keep it really organized. But that is all your money is your pipeline. Like if you went out and you spent money going to these events and parking and drinks and food and this and that, and you're only following up the one time, and then they say no, not right now or whatever, and you're not following up 3 months later, you're not going back to like 3 months ago and then following up with everybody again, you're literally losing money. So I say, Contacts.
And follow up.
Yeah, follow up and follow through.
Yes. That's great advice. I don't care what industry you're in.
Yeah.
That's very true, because I remember when I got into business first and I was learning, that's like one of the first things that I was taught as well, is like build your contact list and then follow up, and then not just do that, but like always help people remember who you are. Whether it's like, hey, we met at this event, like something someone taught me at an event one time is like always try to take a selfie with someone.
Yeah.
And take a picture and then send it to them, so then when you text them, even if it's 3 months later, they can see the picture and you're like, oh, hey, I remember you.
Yeah.
So that's something that I learned, and it's so true that you're saying, because we meet so many people, we see so many things day in and day out, and it's like, what are you doing to be remembered? So what do you do for people to remember you when you meet them?
I like the selfie thing. I've definitely been picking up on that a lot more too, because it definitely helps. It helps me because I meet so many people and I'm like, crap, who is this person? And they're like, Dada, Christina. I'm like, you know what else I've been doing that's really been helping me is because I go to a lot of events. I'll put their name and then I'll put a dash and put the name of the event I met them at. So if I don't remember somebody, I can just look up the name of the events, and then only the people from that event pop up. And then I'm like, okay, it's that one, because there's like only 10 that I got their phone numbers versus 4,000 contacts I have in my phone. It's
Wow.
like crazy. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what's that person's name? Oh my God, I can't remember. Oh, wait, I met him at the Visionary Edge. Okay, great. And then I just type in that event name and then I find them that way. So that's been good for me. That helps a lot with my organization.
So what is your follow-up system like? Like you contact them the next day after you meet them, and then you contact them again, you said 3 months later?
Yeah, I mean, I try to go through, you know what I've been doing, text blasting has been really helpful, reconnecting with people from a long time ago by just sending out whatever I'm working on, and then people will respond maybe about that, or maybe they'll respond and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you text me because I want to talk to you about this, and opens doors for new, other new business. So I do a lot of that. Email blast. I put everybody in my email blast. If they don't like it, they can take it out. But we've already communicated. We've already done business together. So why would they not want to be in? I send it once a month, And I don't really get unsubscribes. I think maybe like one I'll get, So that's a good thing. I try not to spam people. Although I will say that my company I hired probably did spam a lot of people with my mastermind one, because I hired a company for the first time to do it. But they were really good emails, though. I'm just going to say they did a great job. They were funny. They were like they were hilarious. I'll have to show them to you. But yeah, I just try to follow up with just little things I'm working on, and then people will reach out. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm so glad I heard from you. I have an idea. I want to do this." So that's one thing, and then also just I try to go back to I have like a Google sheet, and I just keep them like in little folders, like little segments, and then I just go back and hit them up and, hey, I haven't heard from you in a couple months. Wanted to see if you're ready to, do your new TV show we talked about, or if you're ready to be showcased on TV, or, whatever it is that I'm working on with them. So, yeah, it always sparks new conversations. Sometimes you meet somebody, it's just not the right time,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think at least the key takeaway from what you just mentioned is like not forgetting about them. Like even if it's months later, doing that, because you don't know if that particular moment that you contact them is the right time, and then it's like you're going to get the lead because you followed up.
Yeah.
Or the connection or the friendship or whatever it is. That, and obviously potentially might not always be that person. It might be someone else that they know. Hey, look, it's not me, but I have someone for you.
Absolutely. Referrals are everything.
Yes.
Everything. I always offer money on referrals. I love to take care of people, because the more you take care of them, the more they're going to remember to help you, right? Like it's a give and a take. So I love referrals.
That's awesome. So referrals, follow up with people, take selfies, email blast them, but don't spam them.
Yeah, put the name of the event you met them at, so that way you can always go back to
I'm going to start doing that. I don't do that. I just take selfies.
Oh, it's like that's my best little trick, man. Okay. It works good.
I'm definitely going to start doing that, because it's true. You go to so many places, meet so many people, and you're like, crap. Yeah. I don't know where I met this person.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of like bring it into landing, and before I ask you about, where they can find you, how they can contact you to do business with you and things like that, I wanted to ask you something a little bit more personal. I was on a podcast one time, and they asked me this question, and I remember being asked a question and being like, whoa, like this is very deep. It's nothing crazy. You're going to laugh when I ask you, but at the same time, it's going to make you think.
Okay.
So the question is very simple. Imagine you're speaking to a younger version of yourself. Maybe the version of yourself when you got pregnant and you told me you went through everything with school. What advice would you give that younger Christine?
Oh, to always trust your gut. I've really been tapped into my intuition, and my intuition is like so powerful now. I think in my older years, not that I'm that old, but
You're not.
but it is. You don't. I think there's like this motion that you're in when you're young. You're like in your 20s. You're just kind of going through the motions, and you're not really paying attention to the signs of the universe. Let me tell you, the signs are there. It's actually baffling how many signs are there. And once you tap into that, you can like literally direct yourself every day. Like my prayer every day is like, put me in the room with the right people, give me the right words to speak. Like I don't ask for specific, I just say that's going to, for my best good, my best, highest good, because like I want to be more open to whatever's possible and not be so like one channeled mindset. And so I would just tell my younger self, like, be open to the signs, trust your gut. I'll tell you like a little story, like even recently that there's been a lot of these lately, but like I was flying to Maryland and I've never been to Maryland. I was filming a TV show out there. And while I'm on my way to Maryland, somebody calls me about this movie, Baltimore Hustle, and that's in Maryland. And I'm like, okay, that's a sign that I need to do something with this project. So I immediately jump on it, sign them up for distribution. Then I'm getting them a music deal. So like I created this big, space for that opportunity by realizing, hey, the connection and not letting it go sit for a week because they would have probably signed with somebody else. So I jumped on it right away. Then I was in Baltimore at a nightclub. I haven't even talked to anybody like in so long. I've never been there. I don't know. And somebody knew me right away. And it was somebody I'd interviewed from like a long time ago. And he was like, you changed my life. I was having such a hard time when I was interviewed by you. And now I'm working on a potential TV show with them. So like, whenever something synergistic happens, like what is this meant for? Like there's always a purpose. And if you pass up the signs, you're losing opportunities. I feel like the universe literally puts it in front of you and you just have to see it and be aware. So I love that. I would say to my younger self to pay attention to the signs of the universe and your gut.
So how do you pay attention to the signs if there's a lot of cloudiness? What do you do to clear that fog?
Well, I like to be alone. Like I says, I'm with a lot of people all the time, and sometimes like energy is like, ooh, just like swirling, right? And so I have to like clear my energy field. So I'll just spend time with myself, go to the gym, like, focus on stuff where I'm in quiet space. Or I love, my favorite thing to do. I go to sleep with frequency music on, like very, very low. And I leave it on during the day when I'm like working and in my house just to keep like good energies flowing. If I feel sick, I put on like healing frequencies. If I feel like I'm stuck in business, I put on abundance frequencies. So I really tap into that stuff too. I love that.
That's great. I do the same thing. I put on like when I'm going to bed. Frequency music is definitely a game changer, and I feel like it's so true what you're saying. It's like you have to definitely take time to yourself, because if the majority of the time there's so many people in our ear, our family, our business partners, just the people that we're around, it's like you're not going to properly be able to think and reflect if you're constantly, even there's moments where you should sit there and not listen to anything. Because then you'll be able to think. Like I know there's people who like cannot go a second of their life without either having the TV on or listening to music. And it's like, what are you really thinking?
Yeah.
So that's definitely key, everything that you shared. Amazing. I got a lot of nuggets.
Good.
And I'm not
happy.
in entertainment. But you shared so much amazing information, so thank you. I want you to share with our audience where they can find you. If they're looking for some kind of project to work with you, how they can get involved. Who is your ideal audience? Who is it that you're looking for, and how they can do business with you?
Absolutely. All right. So our network is thediningempire.com. You can download our app in the Google Apple Play Store, watch some of the shows. We're onboarding third-party shows as well. So if you have a show already or a show idea, definitely reach out, contact at diningempire.com so we can connect and schedule a call and see if we can help you make your vision come to life. And then you can follow us, Christine Curran, everywhere. LinkedIn, Facebook,
For
Instagram.
our special people, can you spell it out?
CHRISTINE, CURRAN, and then Dining Divas TV, Destination Divas TV. You'll find us. Google us. You'll find us.
And then
somewhere.
any upcoming events that you have that you want to invite us to? Well,
You already invited the mastermind. The Diva Network, we do that every week, so that's always a great one. And we always have, just follow our social medias. We're always posting cool stuff that's happening and coming up.
Okay, so you have the Trinidad event, right? Do you have any local events coming up?
Local, not that I can think of, but you know what? Things just pop up all the time, so
Just follow the gram.
Just follow the gram. That's the best advice I can give you.
I agree. Things are always happening. But thank you so much, Christine. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
I feel like I learned a lot from you, which is great because it's what you're saying. It's like always be a student to the game. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. We could sit down, have these conversations, share our knowledge. So thank you for sharing all your nuggets with me. It was a pleasure.
Yes.
And you look beautiful and you do not look 40.
I'll take it.
And you give me hope that when I'm in my 40s, I'm going to look just as bad as you are. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.